Vectors traditionally represent forces or currents or winds or something that is acting on an object. And a lot of times we have several forces or several things that are acting on an object and causing it to move. In those cases, we would want to add the forces or add these vectors together to determine the overall force or the combination of forces that is causing movement on an object. And so when we think about adding vectors geometrically, we actually have two ways of adding them together to come up with what we call a resultant vector, so the overall result. When we add vectors, in this case, we're going to be adding vector u to vector v, and we'll get what we call the resultant vector, which is the sum of the two vectors. Now, as mentioned, we have two ways of adding vectors together. One is called the triangle method, and one is called the parallelogram method. And notice that when I perform this addition, if I've got vector u that starts here and finishes here, and then vector v that starts here and finishes here, I've got my resultant vector that starts at the initial point of u and finishes at the terminal point of v. Now, this is our resultant vector after having made a triangle to add these two vectors together. But check it out. We could have the same vector u here, and as we have learned before, we can take our vector v, which was over here, and slide it over. Remember, vectors can be moved. And so if we instead had our vector v with the same direction and same magnitude, just at a different initial point, if we slide it to where the two initial points are on top of each other, then we would use what we're calling a parallelogram. We would create parallel sides, so here's a parallel side to v, and we'd create a parallel side to u, and the resultant, if we have a parallelogram, would start at the shared initial point between u and v, and then go across that parallelogram to terminate in the opposite corner. But notice that the vector u plus v resultant is the same in either situation. It has the same direction and the same magnitude whether I graphed using or added using the triangle method or if I added using the parallelogram method. How are these different? Let's take a closer look at the triangle method. So the triangle method has vector u that starts at an initial point of view and ends at the terminal point of view. Now, if we have vectors so that the v vector is situated so that its initial point is on top of the terminal point of view, so if v starts where u finishes, then we might choose to use the triangle method for adding vectors. In that case, the resultant would start at the initial point of view and end at the terminal point of v. So it starts where u begins and it ends where v ends, right? And so this is considered our resultant. But let's say, for example, we had a different sort of an arrangement to start with. If instead we had both vectors initiating from the same point, this is where we might choose to draw a parallelogram. If the initial points are on top of each other, then I'm going to create a parallelogram with another side exactly parallel to u, another side exactly parallel to v, and the resultant is going to be on top of the shared initial points, right? So it all depends on how these vectors are initially arranged. So if the resultant then here would have the same initial point and it would go across the parallelogram to terminate at the value on the other side. So let's just look at a quick example of this, and we'll look at two vectors that we're going to draw, and we'll add them together using the triangle method, and then add the same two vectors together using the parallelogram method. So I'm going to draw my initial vectors kind of up here in the top left corner so that I have plenty of space to do all of it. I'll draw a vector, let's call it u first, and then I'm gonna have it start kind of just in a random spot. Remember, I can move vectors anywhere I want, so having it start up here in the top left hand corner is fine. And I'm gonna go right 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units and up 2 units so that I terminate here, and I'm gonna call this my vector u. So that was right 6 and up 2. Now I'm going to draw another vector, let's say vector v, and let's start it here, and this time let's go up 2, 3, and left 1, right? So, or left 1, up 3. Doesn't really matter which one you do first as far as positioning, but we're going left 1 and up 3 to get another vector that we're going to call v. Now notice these two vectors are not anywhere near each other right now. So in order to add them together, I'm going to need to slide these two vectors so that either they have a shared initial point, and if I slide the initial point of v on top of the initial point of u, that means I'm going to use the parallelogram method. Let's do that one first, actually. So I'm going to redraw these two vectors, moving them into a different location. And in order to get vector u, wherever I choose to start it, I have to go right 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then up 2 units. Now this is still vector u, even though I have slid it down, or I've moved it into a different position. It still has the same direction and the same magnitude as the u that I started with. Now we said we were going to go for the parallelogram method, so where I'm going to move v is I'm going to move v so that it starts at the same initial point of view, right? The initial points have to be on top of each other if I'm going to use the parallelogram method. Now v was left 1 and up 3 units, so from here I'm going to go left 1 and up 3 units to get to the terminal point of v and draw in my v vector, which is the same as the original v, just moved into a different position. So now, because the initial points are on top of each other, here's where I need to create a parallelogram. So the opposite side of u has to be parallel to u, so that means I'm going to need to go right 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 2, 3 to get a parallel side, right? And I'm not going to make that a vector. I'm just going to make that a side that is parallel to the u. So it has to have the same rise and the same run. And this other side should actually already be set. But let's just double check it. From here, we're going to go left 1 and up 2, 3. And it is, I've got to clean up my drawing a tad bit. Just cleaning up that u side a little bit so that we can see that we actually are going left 1 and then up 2, 3, which is my v vector. So the same rise and run to get a parallel side. Now, let me kind of erase all these dots here in the middle so that we can see that our resultant vector is going to start with the shared initial sides. Remember, this is the parallelogram method, and it's going to end at the point that is opposite of it. We're going to go across the diagonal in order to get to that terminal point. Now, let's call this resultant vector u plus v, and I'm just going to make this r for resultant, which is the sum of my u vector plus my v vector. And in order to compare it to what we get from our triangle method, which we'll do next, let's count and see how far up and over we travel to get from the initial point of our resultant to the terminal point. Well, it looks like we're going right 2, 3, 4, 5 units, and then up 2, 3, 4, 5 units. That's my resultant, right? Right 5 and up 5, right? To get from the initial point of the resultant to the terminal point of the resultant. So now let's add these two vectors together using the triangle method. Again, we're going to start with our vector u, and we can move it wherever we want. So I'm going to start vector u here, and then vector u was going right 6 and up 2. So we'll go right 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then up 2 units to where we terminate here, and we'll draw in our vector u, and this time I'll label it off to the side. Now, vector v, before with the parallelogram method, we slid vector v so that its initial point was on top of the initial point of view. They shared the same initial point. But this time, for the triangle method, we're going to slide vector v so that it starts where u ends. Initial point of v is at the terminal point of u. Now remember, v was left 1 and up 2, 3. So from here, we're going to go left 1 and up 2, 3 units to where we end right here. So here is our vector v. When we have the triangle method, when the initial point of v is on top of the terminal point of view, we can just draw the resultant as completing the third side of a triangle. Now our resultant vector is going to start at the initial point of view and end at the terminal point of v. We'll call that vector r. So that's an R with a little vector hat on the top of it for resultant. And what we want to see here is, did we get the same resultant vector from adding v plus u together using a triangle as we did when we added v plus u together using a parallelogram? And the answer is definitely yes, because from the initial point of r, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the right to get in line with the terminal point of r. And so from there, we're going to go up 2, 3, 4, 5 units. And so right 5, up 5 is the same thing that we did when we had the parallelogram method. So just depending on personal preference or how the problem is set up and arranged, you can either create a triangle depending on where the initial side of v is located, or a parallelogram to complete either a triangle or the diagonal of a parallelogram to come up with the resultant vector.